I said, I haven't ever heard you muted in my entire life.
That's ironic that I missed that. I was probably talking.
And that's all the says regarding their use.
And Tim was gonna call in, right?
He's supposed to, yeah, but it's almost time.
Yeah, it's almost time.
We got about 20 seconds.
Like it's just a metal cutout,
Oh, there.
so that you see it from far, and that was it. There's just little
Is that
things
him?
that you can do without having to,
Settlement funds distributed.
Is that you, Tim?
Yeah, don't hang up on me.
Okay, it came in as HP.
oh, there's another one.
Well, he changed his
Came in
name.
what?
Never mind.
He changed his name to Hewlett
Okay.
Packard.
It's 6.
So like these little.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Roadside attractions,
Mhm.
but they pull you off the highway, and it doesn't take a lot.
Okay. We'll call the special meeting to order. And the roll call is everybody's here in person except for the mayor who's on the phone and Tim Dixon who's also on the phone. And we have one item on our agenda and it is the possible action of the national opioid settlement from Kroger and Company. So let me just read the summary and then we'll turn the time over to Sharon to explain it further. And you've all hopefully had time to look at your packet. So in 2021, Arizona participated in a national opioid settlement with Johnson & Johnson and distributors McKesson, Cardinal Health, AmerisourceBergen involving the city in these settlements. In 2022, 5 additional defendants, Teva, Allergan, Walmart, Walgreens, and CVS entered into similar settlement agreements. The settlement funds are allocated to the county, which must consult the city regarding their use following the One Arizona Distribution of Opioid Settlement Funds Agreement. As of March 2024, Kroger Company has agreed to settle its opioid lawsuit contingent upon the consent judgment with the settling states, which include the approval of settlement agreements and the release of Kroger from all related claims. Arizona, being a settled state, allows the city of Holbrook to opt in to benefit from the settlements proceedings through a state subdivision agreement detailing the allocation use of the funds designated for the city. Financial implications are there's none to the city, so we're not going to have to pay for the lawsuit, but we have the potential to receive settlement funds distributed across Arizona. And according to the document, it's like $165 million, of which we would have, $68.5 million, which we would be entitled to a share. So we'll turn it over to the
So
city
this
manager.
is like the third settlement, these opioid settlements. In 22, there were, every county and 91 cities in Arizona signed on, opted into the settlement agreement, which entitles the settlement to directly receive 56% of funds distributed to Arizona. In 2024, the settlement brings in, as Vice Mayor said, $68.5 million. Now, we don't know what we will get. It's calculated, they've got this calculation that they do, but basically it's by county, and the counties distribute to the cities and towns in the county, and it's based on population. So they have a mathematical, statistical calculation for that, so I couldn't tell you exactly what we'd get out of that. But if we opt in, at least we have the option of receiving those funds. Then once we get those funds, there is I received this from Legal Today. It says that between the monies go to the county, and then the county can ask the cities, and the cities can decide to just let the county handle the funding, how they wanna distribute it, because I'm not sure of the details, but programs are initiated to, mitigate opioid addiction and things like that. I don't know if we wanna be in the business of having health service, programs to address opioid mitigation. So we would have to decide, once the funds do come in, whether or not we want to just turn those funds over to the county, or what it would entail from us, and I don't have those details at this point.
So if any money is received, it will be used for
It has to be
opioid
used-
prevention
Correct.
type of, not for streets.
I know.
Well, you know,
Okay.
sometimes those are broad. Sometimes you know, if you have a slum area in your town, sometimes
Oh, yeah.
those,
Yeah,
there are funds. It depends on however it's written.
right, and that, I don't have the details, so I
We
couldn't
can
tell you. We'll have
construct
to-
a opioid,
Free
rehab
zone.
center that has a pool.
A $5 million pool at
Yeah.
Hunt Park
Yeah.
that's opioid free. So our position tonight is that we need to vote because there's a deadline.
To vote whether or not you wanna opt in. Actually, they wanted it by the 31st, the, AG's office wanted all the cities and towns to opt in by the 31st, and
Of
their
July.
their very dead deadline date is August 12th. So knowing that we had our next meeting on the 14th, we had to have a special meeting to make sure that we were in their window for the AG's office.
Are there any questions
So
or comments?
if we do opt in, and then there are funds that we are entitled to, we have that option to come up with a way of how to use those funds, but there's requirements on what, and if we decide, okay, we opted in and we have these funds, but we can't meet these requirements, or we chose not to go ahead and do it after we find out what those requirements are, what happens to that money? Is it back released to the county, or is it released, where does?
I would, think that depending on what the stipulations are on the use of the money, if, again, we don't have the resources to make an opioid, program, to, rehab or whatever, I would most likely suggest that we turn the funds over to the county and let them work through their healthcare system that they already offer to county residents. But they would still have to ask us, is this the way we wanna spend the funds? So even though they'd run it, they still have to come to us and ask us.
And we won't know how broad those options are. I mean, it could be as something like a rehab facility, or a job where somebody to help addictions or addicts with employment, or even a police officer to help a crisis if there is one. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, cause it could be anything.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't-
Again, I
Yeah,
don't
we
have the
just don't know.
details.
But it's not gonna hurt us.
I'd
So-
say no, I would recommend going for it,
Yeah.
because it's gonna help our residents, whether we run a program, which I really don't foresee, again, we don't have the resources
We don't have
to run
health
healthcare.
department.
So we turned it over to the county takes care of our residents, and we can be specific enough to say, have some rehab sessions here in Holbrook, in the city, not just anywhere else out in the county. I mean, would be up to you to.
Tim, did you have a comment?
Yes, thank you, Mike. So Sharon, you talked to the attorney and our attorneys and gone over this in depth, I'm sure. And I'm just wondering if there are any strings attached, like with, federal funds and so forth.
Just that it has to go towards opioid mitigation.
Okay. And,
So it's the same as any grant, it's specific
I asked
to.
you, I'm sorry. So Sharon, I asked you earlier today if, what amount, because this is not the first time this has come up, correct?
Correct. So I did get in
So
touch with the attorney after we spoke. and it was, Arizona maximized benefits received from the first 7 major global settlements finalized. That brought $980 million into Arizona for opioid treatment, prevention, and education. That was in 22, and then it's $68.5 million this round. And again, it will be dispersed based on whatever those statistical calculations are, and I was confirmed that it's based on population, so.
Okay, so is the 68.5 million on this round, is that just for Arizona or is that nationwide?
That is for Arizona.
Okay. So and who is it up to, who does the distribution?
It goes through.
Is it our Attorney General?
Yes, it's going through the Attorney General, and they have a One Arizona Distribution of Opioid Settlement Funds Agreement, that they get everybody that signs on to, opts into this program, and then they'll decide how it's dispersed. It's split between, well, like 91 cities. It will be split that way.
Okay. Okay, and Mike, didn't we have this come up 2 or 3 years ago?
Yes.
Yes, you did sign on to one.
Yeah, and yes, and we opted to have our portion of the funds go to the Navajo County because we didn't have a health department.
That's right.
Within the city. The Navajo County has that, correct?
That is correct.
That's right. So we let them use it on our behalf because we didn't have a health department.
Right, I remember that. Okay, that's all I have, thank you.
Okay, mayors, did you have something to add?
Nope, I'm good. All my questions have been answered. Thank you.
Is there a motion
Wait, I wanna.
to opt, oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. So the money that Holbrook would get, so the county then would spend that in Holbrook. They wouldn't divide it and give some to Snowflake, other county cities, Navajo County cities.
They have to
it would
ask
be
us how
Holbrook.
we want it spent, so.
So the money we get would be spent here.
Holbrook.
Okay.
I have a question. Do we know with the money that we opted into and we did receive that we released to the county in 2022, do we know how it was spent and if it directly benefited Holbrook residents?
That I can't tell you because I actually just found out about the previous agreement, because this is kind of this did not come to me directly, and it's a little late. That's why we're at the deadline here. So I'd have to get with Randy to find out.
But there hasn't been any accountability that I know about. That I'm not even sure, have they received the funds as of yet from that 2022 date?
Yeah, I'd
So,
have to.
I'm not sure where that is in the process.
Cause it seems if they did receive it, that they would come to the council and ask.
Right, they
I
should.
would,
If
yeah,
they haven't,
because you need to
then-
know, you need to give them direction on how you
Right.
want the funds spent.
Well, I'm just wondering here, if you look at the first paragraph on the last page, it tells you what we can do with that, and I'm wondering if, can we help Change Point or somebody we already have here with with those funds?
I would definitely, first of all, I'm gonna find out where the funds are from 22. But I will definitely make sure that whatever funds we do get, even if they haven't gotten from 2022, we know how the legal system works. It was approved in 22, but, may take 3 years to get. I will definitely make sure that Holbrook residents are the ones that benefit from the funds that are allocated to us. That's the whole purpose for us opting in.
Sure.
But so far, since that vote, Tim, that we voted on a few years ago, there's been nothing come back
Yeah.
to the council.
Okay, I would like to see if we approve this and for the county health to take the monies that we would get, I would like to have them report on a yearly basis.
I'd even do it quarterly,
Yeah,
sorry.
or more, right?
Yeah, or more.
At least a yearly basis.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments? Is there a motion?
Can I add one other thing? Since the document was sent via DocuSign and you will be leaving town and the mayor is out of town, I would request that you authorize me to sign the document on behalf of the city on the DocuSign, if that's okay.
That's all right, isn't it,
Include that in your
Kathleen?
motion, yeah.
Yeah, if you can include that in your motion.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
One more time with that, Sharon, what do you want to include in the motion?
That you authorize me to sign the, authorization letter opting the city in,
On the city's behalf.
on the city's behalf.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept the National Opiate Settlement Kroger Company Agreement and authorize City Manager Sharon Woltz to be able to sign for all of us according to what we need done on this agreement.
I'll second it.
And there's a second. Okay, is there any discussion at this point?
Can I request?
Mike, I have a question.
Okay,
Do I have the floor?
yeah, go ahead, and then Arsenio.
Okay, so this, the memorandum from Justin Pierce came to us on June 7th, and the email from the Attorney General's office came to us on or about that date. Why are we just now hearing about this?
Just got lost in the shuffle, I think.
I'll let Sharon
Okay,
comment on that one because I was here when she was trying to get all this organized and she had kind of a mess going on.
sure, I understand that, but this email went to Randy.
Yep, so, Randy, for whatever reason, did not forward or take the email further, and then I got it when I got this second notice saying, hey, we haven't heard from you, and it needed to go through council, and that's why I made the appointment for the special agreement, so I can't speak to why, Randy's had his hands in a bunch of things until I came on, and
I believe Randy was under the understanding that, the county was doing it on our behalf.
he
So-
did mention something
Yeah,
about that
that's
too,
right.
and then when I investigated further, there was nothing that even authorized the county to do it, so, here we are.
Okay. Arsenio, did you?
Yes.
Thank you.
In the meantime, can we see about where the funds were from the 2022 and if they were?
I have that, I will
Yeah.
get that information, I'll find out where the funds are, if we haven't gotten the funds, when are the funds due, how will they be allocated, and I will request that, will request that we get quarterly reports on those funds.
Yeah, cause I mean, if we approve this now and then it comes in 2 years later, at least it kinda gives that time frame of when to expect it or where it went and how.
Moving forward, we
Yeah.
will have a lot more accountability in situations like this, where are the funds coming from, where are they going, and how are they allocated?
Thank you, I agree.
Okay, so we've had a motion, it's been seconded. Do we need to vote by,
You can just do it basically. You don't need to
okay,
roll call.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is any opposed? So the voting appears to be unanimous. And so we'll go ahead and authorize the city manager to act on the city's behalf, and I think that's the end of,
Everything?
no, we have to have
I
a motion to adjourn.
motion we adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, Tim. Thanks, Kathleen.
Thank you, Mike, you
Thank
take
you,
care,
Mike.
good luck,
Okay, bye-bye.
bye-bye.
Now we all need to skedaddle before the monsoon starts again.
Before it starts again. I'm gonna charge my wife for a car wash on her car.
TT, how was your trip?
Oh, it was wonderful.
Aren't you,
2,126 miles.
Aren't you
That's
going
how
somewhere
far-
else
How
now?
much I drove. Tomorrow I leave for Phoenix.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What did you do to deserve that?
My
Oh,
grandkids.
yeah, well, there's that.
So it don't matter how hot it is.
Okay, so,
That's where I'm going.
Yeah, it'll be hot.
Yeah, oh, I know, I hate it.
okay.
But both my kids.
So you don't need us to sign anything, you're good?
Correct. Yeah, thank you so much.
Where you going?
I wanna ask her something.
Oh, I'll talk to you after you ask her something.
Oh, okay. Can you give me a list of who's turned in what they're working on the original plan? So I can decide what I'm gonna take.